Alright, so in this video, we guys will be adding some status codes from our server to our client, and also we shall be caching the JWT of the user under our application on the client side. Right, so first thing first, if you have followed me in my previous tutorials, we have built the following functionality for signing up and also for logging up. That is for signing up and also for logging up. Now I won't be focusing more on the UI because I am focusing more on backend. So the UI will be subjective and you can modify all of your UI based on your own choice. So first of all, according to our first objective, we need to add some status codes from the response from our server back to our client. Right, so for that purpose, I can go under my backend side, and under my source folder, you can see we have got a bunch of different folders. So first of all, under my controller, here you can see we have built the following functionality of creating a new account and all that stuff. So let me open my terminal and I can go under my backend, and here I can say npmi to get all the following packages one more time. Awesome. So once I got all the packages, the following server is up and ready. Right, so now here you can see we are sending two different messages. First of all, a message itself, which will be the entire error under a case of this entire hashing the bcrypt thing, and also a boolean variable for true or false whether our request was circulated or not. Right, so now what I can do under my first thing, that is for validation, email validation, what I can do, I can add a code. Right, so we will be sending a code. So for now, what I will do, under my response for sending email valid, that is invalid email, I can send a code as 402. Right, now according to 402, we will be identify that the following email was invalid. Right, so here I can say this code means invalid email. Right, so after this, the second code is about the following error, which will be some server error. So here I can see a code of 401. Right, it will be nothing but simply a general error. So here I can say general error. After this, the next thing is about under our user repository. So I can go here, and also here we are sending the following message of user already exist or not. So here I can see an error of 403 which says invalid request, or the following user does not exist. That is, the following user already exists, right? And here I can say invalid request. So after this, you can see we will be having all of our following codes one more time. So I can copy this code, and under also for sending the user not found value, under finding user password, we can send the following code. Right, so we have the following pattern of code, a boolean of authenticated, and also a message. Right, so I can go back, and here under my error, I can do the same thing. So I can add a general code here, and the general code will be nothing but 401, where I can say 401. Now user won't be understanding what the particular error means. So here I can say something went wrong. Right, so this is a generally good habit for writing a message in a human readable language. So I can copy the following message, and instead of my message to be data, I can say, that is, instead of data, I can say a new message to be my entire data. Right, this one, and the status code for it will be 201 because we are creating some value. So here under a case of creating a new account, once the following account is created, we will be sending a code of 201. Right, so I can copy this piece of code and this code and paste it here. But here under a case of data, it will be a message, code, and authentication. Similarly, here we will be having a general error. So here I can say 40. Okay, let's see which are the 40. Right, a 401. So this will be our code, message, and authentication. Similarly, under wrong password, we can say a particular code, let's say 407, and the 407 will be denoting for a wrong password. Right, under the case of our comparing the passwords. So here let's add a new code, which will be general code of 401. Right, and the error will be nothing, something went wrong. Right, so this will be the entire use case for us for sending the particular request back and forth. So now once I have done this, let's run our server. So to run our server, okay, let's clear it out, and here I can say npm run dev. Okay, so our server is connected and also our database is connected. Right, so let's try it out. So I have my Postman up and ready, and here I have my sign up route. So here we are running our server over 8000, and similarly I have got my pre-filled data. So now let's start creating some new account. So here I can say demo user for now to check whether the thing is working or not. So here I can say demo user. Alright, demo user. Let's copy the same credentials everywhere, and let's try to create a new account after sending a post request. Here you can see I will be getting a 201 code, which means created a new resource. I will be getting a message for my entire JWT and also an authentication value to be true. Awesome. So now once our entire sign up thing is working, let's also work over login thing. So I can copy the entire credentials from this side and paste this thing here. Let's send a request. Awesome. So now you can see resource is created and also we are getting our JWT back. Now as soon as I remove this password from this side and send a request, here you can see I will be getting a code of 407 and also a message of wrong password. So now once I have got my entire response up and ready, I can go back and we can work over to our client side, right? So what we can do, let's go to front end side, and here under my library, under my postpay.yaml file, I can get a new dependency known as shared preferences. With the help of shared preferences, we will be saving the particular cache, that is some piece, that is chunk of data for JWT, so that the user won't be logging under our application again and again, right? So here I can say shared preferences and hit enter. Alright, so once I got everything, we are good to go. So now what I'll do, under my core folder, I will be getting a new folder known as services, right? It will be containing all the services that are available under our application. So here I can create a new service known as cache.service.dart. Under this class, I will be getting, that is under this file, I will be getting a new class known as cache and service, right? So what I'll do, I'll get 3 different methods for reading cache, for writing cache, and also for deleting the cache. So here I can say read cache. It will be taking some arguments, but before that, let's complete our method. So first of all, I can get an instance of shared preferences, right? It will be a shared preferences, and this thing will be a new instance of shared preferences, not a new, but under await state for shared preferences dot get instance, right? Now what I can do, after having the following instance of my shared preference, I can set the particular string, that is get the particular string. So for that, what I can do, I can say let cache should be equal to shared preferences dot, here you can see we will be getting all the following methods, right? So here I can say get string, and the string will be requiring a key. So here I can pass the argument for the key, where I can say required a new string known as key, right? So once I got my entire string, I can return my entire cache, where I can say return cache, right? So this will be our method for reading the cache. So I can copy this entire piece of block. Here I can see a write method. So what I can do, I can copy the following piece of line, paste it here, and here we need a value, right? So here instead of say a getting string, I can set a string. So to setting string, we need a key and also a value. Now we won't be returning anything, so I can remove the cache value from here, and I can say await shared preferences dot set string. Let's also await for getting a string, just like this, right? So this will be our entire use case. So I can copy this method one more time, and here I can add a method of delete cache, right? Now our delete cache method will be only requiring a key, so I can remove the value, and here I can say remove the particular string, that is our value, right? So this will be our entire use case for our cache service. Now what I can do, where our application will be loading, we can add a splash screen there. So to add that, we can go under a meta folder. Generally we have only one folder of authentication. So under my views, I will be getting a folder known as splash view, right? Splash view. Under splash view, let's have a new file known as splash view.dart, right? Here I can create a new stateless widget known as splash view. So I can remove the boilerplate code, and here I can have a new scaffold. So under my splash view, it will be having nothing but simply a body under a center, right? Under a center, it will be having a child, a text of the social, right? For now, this will be our general splash view. So what I can do, I can get one more folder known as decider. The decider folder will be deciding whether the particular cache was situated under our shared preferences or not. So here I will be getting a folder known as decider view. So here I can create a new file known as decider view.dart. So what I'll do, under my decider view, I can say return a stateless widget known as decider view. So here I can remove everything, and instead of a container, I can return here a future builder, right? So under my future builder, first of all, we require a future and also a builder. So what I'll do, first of all, under my builder, we can return the entire thing. But before that, our future will be nothing but simply our cache service for reading the cache, right? So to get that, what I can do, I can go at the top, and here I can say final cache service of a cache service is equal to a new instance of cache service. So here we can say cache service dot read cache. Now the key will be nothing for us, it will be JWT, right? So here under our builder, what I can do, I can add 3 different conditions. First of all, I can say if connection state is under connection state dot waiting, I can say return the entire splash view, right? But if the following state is available to us, that is our entire connection is available to us, I can say snapshot dot has data. If our snapshot had some data, I can say return a home view, right? We'll be creating a home view in a instance, but for now I can also add else block, else return a login view, right? So we need to create a home view. So to do that, let's go under view and create a new folder known as home view. So here let's have a new file known as home view. All right, home view.dart, right? So here I'm having a new stateless widget known as home view. So here I can say a new scaffold, the boilerplate scaffold having an app bar. For now, under my app bar, let's have a title, not a text theme, but a title having a text for a home view, right? So I can go back under my decider view and import my home view. So once I've added a new view, that is my splash view and decider view, we can go under our routes, and here we can add the following strings. So here I can say final string decider route will be equal to having a value of decider, right? So I can copy this piece of line and let's paste it below here. So here the first one will be decider view. So here I can say decider view, right? And the value will be nothing but simply decider route, comma, just like this. So I can copy the same piece of line, paste, and here we'll be having our home view, right? So we have got our home view. So let's add our home view, right? So this will be our entire routes available to our entire use case. So what else we need to do? We need to go under our main.dart file. So here let's go under main.dart file, and under routes, the initial route will be nothing but simply decider view, not decider view, but decider route. So press Ctrl and S. So let's hot restart our entire application one more time. Awesome. So we need to do one thing, that is we need to close our entire application and open it one more time, right? Because we have added a dependency of shared preferences. So press Ctrl and S and let's this thing to be loaded up and ready. And now what we can do, we can go under our entire notifier. So let's go to notifier, and under my notifier I can add a condition to cache the particular JWT, right? So to do that, what we can do here, if I can go back under sign up, here you can see we are creating a new account and we are sending our entire body back, right? So this will be an entire body that we are sending back. So what we need to do, we need to parse the particular body and get our entire value. So here I can say variable. So let's say variable user data will be equal to the following await instance, right? So this will be giving some value. We need to decode a particular value. So here I can say final map under a string and dynamic of a dynamic will be equal to a parsed value, right? And it will be nothing but simply await JSON. We need to import JSON and simply decode the particular value. That is my user data, right? So we can paste our user data. So what we need to do, the parse value will be nothing but simply a bunch of data. So what we need to do now, I can say first of all a final user data should be equal to parsed value, and from the parse value we can get some data, right? But here let's have user JWT, and here it will be nothing but simply our message, right? Now if I go back under my controllers, you can see once our account is created, we are sending this response, it is a code, message and authentication. So here first of all we are getting the read of our, that is we are fetching our message, which is this message, right? So I can copy this piece of line, and here I can say user code. Now the code will be nothing but simply our entire this code, right? So I can add this thing here. So now what I'll do, I can say if user code is equal to 201, that is a option for created. I can say that is I can call my entire class of cache service, where I can say final cache service for a cache service is equal to a new instance of cache service. So here what I can do, if the following user code is 201, I can say cache service dot write cache. The key will be nothing but JWT, and also the value will be nothing but JWT, that is the user JWT, right? So this will be our entire cache, that is our entire use case, right? If the user code is 201, we will be having the following value, right? And also if the user code is 201, that means the account is created. So here I can say navigation, that is we can navigate ourselves to our home screen. So here I can say navigator dot push, and here we'll be requiring a context as well. So here let's have a context. So here let's have a context or build context for a context, right? So here I can say navigator dot of the context, and here we can push to a particular route. So here the route will be nothing but simply home route, right? So this will be the entire use case. And suppose we got some error, what we can do, we can show the error with the help of a snack bar. So for that purpose I can say scaffold messenger out of the following context dot show snack bar. Under this I can say snack bar, and the content will be nothing but simply some message of something went wrong. Right, so we can also do one thing, that is we can add the same snack bar under our if condition. So here, if the code is not 201, we will be showing the particular message, and the message will be nothing but simply the entire JWT data. Right, so this will be our entire use case. So now let's try to log in. Right, so we can also do one thing, that is add the following option here to remove the JWT. So let's go to our home view, and under my home view I can say a new body under a center. Not a center, but I can remove the entire body. I can add a floating action button for now. So here let's have a floating action button for a fab, that is floating action button. Also let's call our class. So here I can say final cache service. For a cache service should be equal to a new instance of cache service. So here under my floating action button I can say on tap, that is on press. I can say cache service dot delete cache, and the key will be nothing but JWT. Right, and I can also add a when complete phrase, and when the following thing will be completed, will be navigated back to our home screen. Right, so for that purpose, let's go to our sign up view, not sign up view, but under our notifier, and I can copy the entire navigator. So let's go back, and here under our home view I can paste everything here, and the route will be nothing but simply a login route. Right, so this will be the entire use case for us. Okay, we are having some small error. Let's go to problems, and we need to add a context. So here let's add a context for a context. Alright, so now you can see we are seeing our following button. Let's press it, and we are now navigated to our home screen. Right, so if I hot reload my entire application once, you can see the following JWT is null, and the JWT is null, so we are getting navigated to our home screen, that is our login screen. Right, so what I can do, I can go to my sign up page, and let's create a new account for now. So here I can say demo user, and also demo user @gmail.com, and I can say here demo user as a password. Right, so let's clear the following debug console, and let's try to sign up. Awesome, so now you can see we are getting a message of user already exist, right, because we are also carrying up our errors. So let's add some different thing here, that is a new email. Let's try to sign up. You can see we are getting navigated to our home screen, that is the account is created. Right, because if I go under my, hold a minute, if I go under my authentication controller, the cache service is writing the following cache, and we are getting navigated to our home screen. So if I hot reload, if I check my debug console, and if I hot reload my entire application once, that is hot restart, you can see we are getting our JWT back, and also we are getting navigated to our home screen automatically. Right, because also under my decider view, you can see we have added the following condition of if the snapshot has some data, we will be getting navigated to our home screen. Right, so this is the entire journey that you should be using, that is the code you should be following for adding some JWT thing. So I can copy the entire package block from this code. Right, and also we can add the same thing under our login thing. So let's paste everything here, and our login thing won't be requiring the name. Right, it will be having a login, and also we shall be requiring some context. So here I can say required field context or context. Right, so everything will be same. Let's add a bracket here, and that's it. So now you can modify this code as much you want, but this is some beginner's point of view. Right, so what I can do, let's go to login view first to add the let's go to login view, and here I can add the following context, where I can say context for a context. So this will be our entire use case. So let's try to log it, that is log out, and if I hot restart my entire application once, it will be our entire use case. So let's try to log it, that is log out, and if I hot restart my entire application once, if I check my debug console, you can see the snapshot is null, and that's why we are getting navigated to our login view. But here if I say demo user 1, that is the account that we have just created, @gmail.com, and if I say here the password of demo user, right, let's clear the entire thing, let's log in. You can see we are getting our entire code here, that is our entire message, and also we are getting navigated to our home screen. But if I hot restart my entire application once, you can see we are getting our JWT back, and also we are getting navigated to our home screen. Right, so this was some code that you should be writing for creating some cache service under your application. Now you can modify the particular code as much you want, but our time has gone quite long, so we shall be modifying our code in our next tutorial. Till then, if you have loved this tutorial, please hit that like button, follow me on Instagram. Have a good day.